Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. CPI data came today and in my opinion it was good. So market went up after the CPI data. We'll further take a look in this video. Also we will discuss how NVIDIA can perform the rest of the week using latest data and analysis. Now let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, Nvidia opened at 133.65. It made a high 136.45. It made a low 131.29 and it closed at 136.20. That is 3.37% up. And after hours is still positive. You see that there was clarity of direction today on Nvidia and also overall market. So there were no big volatility or ups and down you can notice today. S&P, Dow Jones, and also Nasdaq were positive today as well. Let's take a look S&P. So you see that S&P was also up and it closed about 1.83% positive. And similar behavior regarding Nasdaq closed at 2.45% positive as well. And there was clarity of direction as well. You see, there was no big ups and downs. And also Dow Jones closed 1.65% positive. Similar behavior, no big ups and downs. The major reason behind this positive momentum is the CPI data. Let's take a look at the CPI data. Starting with the core CPI data, the actuals came 3.2% versus the forecast 3.3%. And based on my yesterday video, my assessment was the core CPI should match the forecast, or maybe it can come higher than the forecast. But the good thing is the actuals came lower than the forecast and it was a good news for the market. Let's take a look overall CPI. And the overall CPI came 2.9%, just matched the forecast. It didn't come higher than the forecast. So based on my previous assessment, I expected that the actual will not come higher than the forecast. Either it will match the forecast or it would come lower than the forecast. So that's what actually happened. And those two numbers are good for the market, and overall market went up. And that was my prediction as well, that if the CPI data comes supportive to the market, you'll see market go up today. Moving back to Nvidia, last 5 days, Nvidia down about 4.5%, and last 1 year, Nvidia is still up about 141.6%. From now on, I think that Nvidia got the positive momentum. So next 2 days, I am thinking that Nvidia should close positive as well. My price target for end of this week was 145. So let's see if Nvidia can touch 145 in next 2 days, but at least Nvidia should be able to close above 140 by the end of this week. And that is my assessment. Okay, I can be wrong as well. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia. Nvidia forward P at this point is at 39.36. Not a major change from the last week closing. But the good thing is Nvidia is still trading around 40 forward P. So I think that Nvidia has lots of potential to go further up in next few days. Palantir 200.41 the forward P. Palantir was also up today. SMCI 9.75, slightly down from the last week. SMCI was up today as well. AMD 27.08. AMD also had a good day today. Now let's take a look quarterly percentage change analysis for Nvidia. So based on the cumulative percentage change, Nvidia at this point is 5.55% down from the previous earnings report. And that tells that Nvidia still has more potential to go further up before the next earnings. Last quarter, as I mentioned before as well, the minimum point Nvidia touched was 12.81% down and the maximum 25% 0.7% up. Now let's take a look technical charts for Nvidia. You see Nvidia 90-day hourly interval chart on your screen and also Fibonacci levels. Based on the Fibonacci levels, the 23% retracement is at 141.28, and that's also a strong resistance for Nvidia. On the lower side, the 38% retracement is at 133.5, and that makes a good support for Nvidia as well. And 50% retracement is around 127, and that's, in my opinion, a very strong support for Nvidia. It won't be very easy for Nvidia to go down 127 with the current data, unless some other news or data that could be damaging for Nvidia. But at this point, I'm not seeing Nvidia to go below 127 in next few days. And based on the MACD, let me make it bigger. Nvidia got the positive momentum. You see that the blue line is up above the zero level, and hopefully Nvidia can carry this positive momentum in next 2 days as well before the inauguration ceremony that's going to happen on Monday next week. And Bollinger Bands are also telling the same story, that the gap between the upper band and the lower band started to increase. So that tells that momentum is still there with Nvidia. So Nvidia should carry this positive momentum in next few days as well, just like this. You see, so similar behavior or trend I'm expecting on Nvidia for next few days. Now let's take a look other news and analysis for Nvidia. So the very first one here, it says US tightens its grip on AI chip flows. So in my opinion, the AI chip regulation is no longer a surprise for the market, and market already priced in this data into the current price. So I do not see any major impact because of this AI chip regulation that came yesterday or day before yesterday. Moving on, the TSMC earnings are coming. AI chip demand and US exports curves are in focus. So TSMC earnings data would be important. So we should be watching for that. And the earning is due on January 16th. So tomorrow we'll have some data regarding TSMC earnings for the previous quarter. Now, regarding Nvidia, let's take a look this one that says Nvidia stock gains, why this analyst is lowering estimate for the AI chip maker. Let's open it. So let's jump on to the fourth para that says, however, a more important driver for the stock could be reports of issues with the manufacturing of its GB200 liquid cooled rack system. So I kind of agree with that. The next big thing for Nvidia that can impact its price movement is any supply or design issues regarding this new system. And also it says that Blackwell GPU supply is ramping in line. That's a good thing, but this analyst, has cut its sales target for 2026 from 200 billion to 185 billion, but the price target overall is at 180, and I think that is achievable sometime in next 2 quarters for Nvidia. Now let's take a look this one, and that's about Nvidia and quantum. It says Nvidia announces first ever quantum day at GTC 2025, days after Jensen Huang said quantum computing is 20 years away. So that would be interesting. What they're going to talk about quantum in GTC, that's going to happen sometime probably in March, right? So now let's scroll down further to see any other significant news regarding Nvidia. I don't find any so far other than the ones that I discussed with you. So I guess that's all about Nvidia news for today. Let's take a look at my watch list. So in my watch list, you see that almost all the stocks are positive today, with the exception of some airline stocks, that is Delta, Southwest, and UAL. But all the tech and the AI stocks are positive today. The highest positive change is in SoundHound, that is 8.6% up. And that makes sense because last few days SoundHound was going down from 23 to 13 in just probably 1 or 2 weeks. And regarding the economic data, we had the CPI data today and tomorrow, nothing much coming up. On Friday, also nothing much. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, no data schedule. Wednesday, nothing much coming up. Thursday, also nothing much. And Friday next week, also no big data is coming. So next week is also quiet in terms of the economic data. I guess next week the focus would be inauguration ceremony and also the new policies that Trump gonna announce in the first week, and that can impact Nvidia and other AI stocks. So that's all about Nvidia analysis and assessment for today and next few days. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.